Okay, Evil Genius started, well, because the guys, I didn't know that they were looking for another singer the whole time I was writing songs for the third record of Wild Dogs, which was due in about maybe 6 months. And so they wouldn't take any of my songs serious at rehearsal, where it used to be a great songwriting thing. It all kind of died when we got Dean, because it was always the Dean show then. And we didn't focus on songs like we did with Pete and Jamie. And so I decided to do my own songs and bring them to the band, finished, to cut some time out. And I asked Kip Doran, who was working as a roadie for us, to be on guitar. And we used this band called Haven. So they had a rehearsal place down there at Union Arms, right down there by Burnside, this apartment house. Their manager of the apartments built a soundproof room in there. And so we went over and played with Rick Baggett on drums and, made some demos that way of songs. Kip was looking for a drummer in the papers and found Ben Linton. We're jamming, and in comes this guy, and he sits in the back of the room with a 40 ounce of Rainier Ale and smoking cigarettes, and Ben says, "Oh, Matt, this is my roommate, Ken." And I go, "Ken Goldstein?" And he said, yeah, mccourt, because he always calls me mccourt. "Hey, mccourt." He's a bass player. He's an amazing bass player. So we had a lot of fun, though. We became a band. We got Chris Jacobson. Paul Curley, the world-famous photographer, had suggested Chris Jacobson on the second guitar. And he used to be with the Mentors. None of us looked like rock stars. We all had short hair, and that was one of the problems with me. It was my image, and that's why they wanted to can me and get a guy with skinny ass and long hair and, the typical singer. And I said, hey, I was really offended by that. What should we call this? Discrimination against guys who look like this. Mike Varney is probably the worst. If you didn't have hair and didn't look great, you could be the best guitar player on earth. But if you didn't look like a poodle in spandex, you didn't even get listened to. I watched him do it. I watched him look at a picture. So never send pictures. Just send your music. Let the music do the talking. That's what it did with us. Because if we would have sent a picture of us, he would have tossed the thing without even listening to us. So I was really anti-image at the time. So I thought, let's make fun of it. And we all got the same Elvira wigs. Same exact one. 3 of us had that. One guy had another. And, and Ben had a mustache, and he darkened it in with, mascara, and it looked like a porno mustache. And we took pictures, and here's a couple of pictures. It was like the Way Outs from the Flintstones. Yeah, if you know the Flintstones, you'll know the Way Outs. This band, Way Out, Way Out. Kip made that up. We had a lot of fun. It was all about that. And we go to gigs. I knew a guy, James Matson, who drove limos for the limo guy here. And he would come and get us and take us to the gig in between limo pickups. And we'd have to wait for him. So we'd hang around and say, well, our driver's busy right now. But we show up in a limo, and it was really funny. And we're just totally making fun of the whole rock star thing. And we did some pretty good gigs, and we played in Seattle at the Guerrilla Gardens with The Accused and Steve Broy from the Mentors that just graduated college and was home celebrating. And he got a gig at Lockheed right out of college after being a paper boy in West Hollywood for like $50 a week. He was now making $150,000 a year. And in 1985, that was some pretty good cheese. But he's a smart guy. I love Steve Broy. Hi, Steve Broy. These guys were into trains, really into trains. El Duce, ironically, was really into trains. They would go down to the train station and sit there and watch. Yeah, this is not good. I'm not talking this over. They go down and watch the trains come in over by the Selwood Bridge. And Chris Jacobson ended up working for Union Pacific and became an engineer. He was a train driver. And, meanwhile, I sent this demo. We recorded 9 songs, the whole album, at Recording Associates with Bob Stoutenberg, the Wild Dogs engineer, Mayhem engineer. And I sent the tape around to everybody, and nobody wanted it. They liked the songs, but I don't know, there's something missing. Mike Varney, It took him about 5 or 6 months to come around after he listened to it over and over, I guess, and he liked the song. I'm pretty sure that Mike Varney just really wanted Dean to move to the... Anyway, we're back to the Evil Genius. I'm living at Ken and Ben's house over on 45th and Broadway, which is now demolished. It should have been demolished then. It's a welfare office now. It was a welfare state when I moved there. There was a shower. And there was no shower, actual nozzle. It was just this water that came out of the wall, this pipe that was about that big. And it was a wooden shack. It looked like an outhouse, like from the Hillbillies. And somebody had it was where the drain was for the floor. Somebody had bent a pipe and made a shower down there. I had to dig the dirt out. It was the first place I lived. My mom said, you had to move out. And here's the date. You can't live here anymore. You're done. You're going to go. You got to get out of here. She could kick me out of the nest. So we lived there for a while, and we got a job at a gas station because I never really worked much. Friend Richard Carter, who was a sound guy for the Ravers and the Penetrators and Rude Awakening, and you heard about him in the first episode here. And he was working at this gas station, Minute Mart, in North Portland, when North Portland was really North Portland. It wasn't quite the hood because that was down in the central area. And we kept passing this place. I pumped gas, and Angie worked in the convenience store. We would drive there every morning and pass this house, this place, this apartment house. You'd see the interstate. You'd stop at this light, interstate in Russell. We'd look up and see this white. I said, why don't we should move there? Because then the drive to work is going to be a lot shorter. And I've learned not to say shit like that now, because within 2 months, that's where we were living. We were the managers of this place called the Villa La Paz. And no more pumping gas. People come in and these big Cadillacs a month, 79 cents regular. And, it would be change. They buy like a gallon of gas. It was $1.20 regular. Wash the windows. And, big old pimp cars. The house behind the place, they would have like dog fights after the wrestling matches were down the street at the Portland Sports Arena. And one day, Buddy Rose was at the gas station. I walked out of the bathroom, and there's this big pink ass and a crack. He's looking like the Maytag man from hell. And there's this little tiny Honda CVCC. You know what those are? They're smaller than a smart car. They're about the size of a Mini. And it's all beat up. This is a Portland wrestler, star Buddy Rose, Playboy Buddy Rose. And I came up to him and I said, hey, are you the guy that fixes are you the Maytag man? And he turned around and he was still high. It was a big crack house. Big crack was big then, in 1985. And so we ended up living at the villa not long after that. And not long after that, Mike Varney had been sending me tapes of guys and hooking me up with guitar players like Paul Gilbert and saying, if you can get Dean, I'll get you the guitar player. And I'm stuck in the middle because my best friend Kip and Chris are my bandmates. And I'm going to have to say, well, Mike wants to do the record, but he doesn't want to do it with you guys. And he's giving me the excuse that these guys are too fat. It was always Mike Varney's excuse. You're too fat, you're too fat, you're too fat. I lost 60 pounds before I did the Dr. Mastermind thing. And it's because I lived at the villa, which is our next story coming up here in the episode with Dr. Mastermind. But this was Evil Genius, 1984-85. And I'm Matt McCourt, and this is US Metal TV on usmetal.com.